Joining us now on SportsCenter, ESPN NBA analyst Tim Legler. And Legs, it seemed like when this game got going, the Warriors felt already battle-tested, right? Playing games that meant something down the stretch in the regular season. The Lakers, they just seemed the switch wasn't on yet. Talk to me about the difference in L.A. comparing the first half with the second half.
Well, the biggest difference was, first of all, their defensive intensity in the third quarter. They got a lot of deflections. They used their length and size to create some turnovers. Golden State got sloppy with the ball. But where they really turned the game was on the other end of the floor. Power basketball. The one biggest difference between these two teams, flat out size. And the Lakers have an advantage at virtually every position. And when you look at the beginning of that fourth quarter, they start out with a lob dunk to AD, a post up by Kuzma on a baseline out of bounds play, 2 driving layups by LeBron James. So they came down and very determined. And to me, that's where they took control of the game. They were reeling a little bit. If Golden State pushes that out to 12, 14 points there in the beginning of the fourth quarter, it's a wrap. So instead, the Lakers focused on what their advantage was against this team. It's flat out physical power in the paint. That's what they got back to, triggered by the turnovers. That's where they turned it. And then obviously it's going to get into some back and forth and big shot making down the stretch. But I thought the Lakers took control of the game in the beginning of the fourth quarter on the offensive end of the floor.
Speaking of big shot-making, Legs, LeBron James saved his best for last, his game-winning, really the go-ahead bucket, game-winner, three-pointer. Said he was seeing 3 rims at the time after being poked in the eye by Draymond Green. Take us through that big shot by LeBron James that won it.
Yeah, and it shows you how far LeBron James has come throughout the course of his career for a shot like that, because that's not luck. He caught that, he squared up, he knocked it down. There was a time in LeBron James' career earlier when that was just not something that was in his repertoire. And now, despite the fact that he really wasn't a force from the perimeter in this game, he's able to knock down that shot, the biggest shot, the backbreaker for the Lakers. And for me, when I look at the Lakers, and I'm glad LeBron used that analogy about a prize fight, because that's how I view this team. With AD out as much as he was, LeBron out, and this team trying to find some cohesion here at the start of the postseason, Linda, all they had to do was avoid the knockout punch early. And if they had lost tonight, you're talking about a one-game situation on Friday night where the Lakers could have been eliminated from the postseason altogether. They just had to avoid that, and now they can take a sigh of relief. They're going to get into a 7-game series, and I expect this team now to get better and better each and every night, each and every series as this playoff goes on. This would have been catastrophic to the Lakers to find themselves in a one-night play-out situation, basically, to find themselves on the outside looking in. They avoided that. And now they'll start to find their cohesion and rhythm, because they haven't had a lot of it going down the stretch of the season. And LeBron James' three-pointer now has enabled them to get into a best-of-7 where ultimately you expect talent to win out.
And there were over 6,000 fans very happy at leaving Staples Center on Wednesday night, watching their Lakers win and move on to the real NBA postseason. Tim Legler, thanks so much as always.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.